It's not how you dance. Like, if you're going out there and not giving a crap what people think and just letting your freak flag fly, that's what makes like a dancer.
You're listening to the Aerial Hour, episode number 26. The Aerial Hour is a weekly podcast where I interview aerial entrepreneurs and professionals within our industry. Hey there, friends. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Aerial Hour. I'm your traveling host, Tara, and today I am joining you from Montgomery, Alabama. There is a huge snowstorm that's taking over the entire country, pretty much everywhere except for Florida. So we escaped from Tennessee and have headed south for a couple of days before we start making our way west. Of course, as always, I am excited to share today's guest, but before I do so, let me run through my list of things. Make sure to like and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can also write us a review on Facebook, which I absolutely love reading. And if you want to stay up to date with our RV travels, you can follow my personal page, which is _Tara_travels_, or you can just click the link that I have in the bio, which takes you over to my page, because that username is far too long to actually remember. And while you're on the interweb, go ahead and make sure to subscribe to the show on Apple or Spotify, or any other podcast platform for that matter. If you do this, you will actually have first access to all episodes as soon as they're released. What happens when I upload a podcast episode to my platform is it gets sent out to all the other platforms. If you're subscribed, it automatically becomes available to you, whereas everybody else will have to wait until it's been approved to actually listen. So if you want to hear it first, make sure that you're subscribed. And instead of my typical review of the week, I'm going to give a shout out this week. This week's shout out goes to @poll.lydia. Lydia has just launched her business, which I highly recommend you go check out. Follow her on Instagram @clack.shop. She'll be offering gear and grips, so make sure to watch out for her. Again, that's @clack.shop, and this isn't a paid endorsement or anything. I just genuinely love supporting your businesses. So tell me about them, message me. I want to hear about it all. And congratulations to Lydia for starting her business. And I'm thrilled to be watching your journey. And just a special shout out to all of you. On the last episode, I was so nervous to share about myself personally, and all I received back was love, which, I kind of thought that's what I had hoped that would be what would happen. But it's always, nerve-wracking putting yourself out there, making yourself vulnerable. So I just want to say thank you to all of you that listened and gave me extra love for sharing. And if you missed it, go check it out. I'd say it's a pretty decent episode. And now what we've all been waiting for is today's interview. Today's interview is with Lindsey Dement, and this interview was such a blast to record. I know I say this all the time, but we had just hit the road again. I think this was maybe in early July. The world is and was very tense. I hadn't been around many people, especially many people that I felt super, super comfortable with. And immediately upon meeting Lindsey, we both started joking around and laughing, and we had a bunch in common, and it was just exactly what I needed. So I think that really comes across in this interview. We had so much fun and we laughed a lot. A couple of things that we talk about in this interview is how Lindsey made the transition from pole student to pole instructor, how she was teaching pretty much full time, deciding to compete and how she trains for competitions, making the decision to find a muggle job and do pole part-time, and working with Cleo the Hurricane. If you want to know more about this episode, of course, head over to theaerialhour.com and check out all the show notes. I think I've covered all the things, so Phil, go ahead, roll the tape. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me for another episode of the Aerial Hour. Today, I am in Austin, Texas, and I'm hanging out with Lindsey Dement. How are you?
Hi! I'm good.
Good. We've been talking and laughing and having so much fun. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Before we jump into everything, I just want to know, how long have you been dancing for?
Well, I have been pole dancing. I'm about to come in my 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
I know. I feel like I should have like a big party.
Yeah, or a
blowout
trophy or something.
Add like another inch to my heels or something.
Yes, there you go. I like it. 10 years.
I feel like that would be equivalent to in martial arts where they have like the belts
Yes.
and stuff like that.
Yes.
I feel like in pole you should add another inch to your heels. Or...
I think that might be a natural progression. Yeah. Anyways, I started at 3-inch.
Kitten heels.
Yeah. And then they slowly went
bigger,
up.
or smaller bottoms.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes,
yes, that's great.
Yeah.
Both of those are good measures of how long you've been dancing
exactly.
for. So 10 years, that's incredible.
I know, it's a long time.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it.
No. When I think about how long I've been doing it, it's like, what? Where?
But it's crazy to see over the past 10 years, the progression of pole. It's nuts, dude.
That's really interesting. So we're going to just get right into it.
Okay.
What have you seen change over that 10-year span?
We were talking about this a second ago before we started this. When I first started, it was girl, you can butterfly. Dude, you're elite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the crazy level of tricks and flips. And even when it comes down to floor work, all the kips and all this crazy kind of stuff. But I mean, it's, there's so many different styles of pole. There's, the gymnastic side. I love the old school heel bang, wavy leg, bounce your ass type of stuff.
Yes.
That's just my vibe or whatever. But it's just crazy, all these tricks and transitions that are coming out. But I admire it. I think it's great. That's just that's not in my wheelhouse anymore.
No.
I feel like I'm a old lady polar now.
Well, after 10 years, that's a long time in the community.
It
for
is.
sure. So that's 2010.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. A lot has changed. Yeah. When you first started, did you come into the studio? How did you even find pole dancing?
Sure. So I saw, it was actually, I was at home one night and I was watching the Conan O'Brien late night show type of thing. And they had Cirque du Soleil on there, but it was gosh, I can't remember what it was called. But it was their sensual.
Okay. Yeah.
And I saw a pole dancer on there, and I swear to God, it was Felix Kane.
Okay.
But again, the memory, that was a long time ago. And I saw it, and I was like, holy fart.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And then I sat on it and I thought I would keep thinking about it because I grew up dancing. I've always been a dancer. Even in middle school, I was totally not cool. And I would stay at home and video record the VMAs, Britney Spears and NSYNC and all that stuff, and learn the dances.
I'm a slave for you,
girl. Yes, the low cut song up high.
Yes. Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah.
Yes. And so even though I haven't been classically trained dancer, I still had that dancer soul.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And at the 6th grade dance, girl, I was just breaking it down.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. 6th grade me would not break it down in public, but I love that. That's awesome.
And I feel with dance, and I tell my husband this, Mr. Lindsey, I tell him this all the time. It's not how you dance. If you're going out there and not giving a crap what people think and just letting your freak flag fly, that's what makes a dancer in my heart.
Absolutely.
So I saw this performance and it just was burned into my brain. I'm like, dude, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And, some time went by, and then that was when Groupon was coming out and a real big deal.
Yep.
And I saw a Groupon for a studio called Brass Ovaries.
Okay.
And I was like, bitch, now's my time.
Yes.
Like, let's do this. And I bought the Groupon. It was like a 5-class pass or something like that. And then, so I went, and it was in this little tiny, like, almost like an office space behind like a sketchy car wash. Yep. It was like when 45 millimeter poles didn't exist, and they were only 50 millimeter poles, which sound like my leg skin like dream, right?
Right, seriously.
And I went and I just fell in love with it like immediately. I'm like, these are my people.
Yeah.
Everybody was so cool and welcoming, and just even, you know, just like a forward hook spin, I was just like mind blown, emoji heart eyes, like all that kind of stuff. And after my first class, I was like, okay, I need a membership. I need to be here. And I just went as much as I possibly could.
That's amazing.
I know, and it was such like a safe space and just so good spiritually and mentally and physically. But.
Right. It's so funny because like that was my experience too. It was just this like little itty bitty studio that I went into from Groupon, and I absolutely just fell in love with every little bit of it. Yeah. And it just brings in the right people. The right people stay in it for sure. I love that you had that experience. And how long was it before you decided to start teaching?
Honestly, it was about like 8 months in.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
So
okay.
It was pretty quick. I started off.
Well, if you're going all the time, right?
And, you know, pole then, like, there just weren't a whole lot of people doing it.
Right. This is 2010.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not a whole lot of people that really, I mean, even now, like, people would come and do, like, 1 class or 2 classes.
Right.
And then be like, oh, okay, on to the next thing or whatever. But
it's a novelty for a couple of people, for some, for sure.
Totes. And yeah, I was a hairstylist.
Okay.
And I lost my job doing that because of pole.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I, you know, started and I was taking, you know, it was before Instagram. So just like Facebook videos or pictures or whatever. And I worked for this corporation and it made somebody inside of there, they saw it and felt uncomfortable about it, and they felt like that was enough to terminate me. So I'm giving the middle finger right now.
Seriously. I'll give it with you.
The double bird.
That's
actually.
Ridiculous. Wow. Okay, so that's really interesting, a hair studio. Yeah, that's crazy.
And so, you know, I'm a firm believer in like everything happens for a reason. So I'm like, you know what? This is my time to put all my effort and like energy and heart into this and just hit the ground running.
Okay.
So I started off teaching like kind of like a pole conditioning type of class where it was like not fun shit. Like push-ups and, you know, all that, whatever. But then I just kind of slowly transitioned into doing beginner classes, you know, then intermediate and advanced. But at that time, it was all just kind of one class. Like, intermediate, advanced, and beginners were all in one.
Mixed levels for sure. How did you make the transition to becoming a teacher?
I pretty much just begged my boss.
I'm here anyways.
I'm doing admin work, so why don't you take the day off? And I'll teach your class for you.
Awesome.
But, you know, since that was really my only source of income for a little while, I was really just kind of peer pressuring people.
Yeah. I like it. And so in this time, were you doing any other things besides pole? It was just pole, or?
It was mainly pole for a few months. Maybe it was less than a year. So maybe around like the 6-month mark. And then on the weekends, because I'm like, girl, I need extra money. The life as a pole instructor, girl, you gotta hustle so hard. You'll kill your body, like teaching 18 million classes in a night. You know, so I started go-go dancing on the weekends on Friday and Saturday. And dude, that was like the most fun I've had in my whole entire life. And I worked at gay bars. And so it was so much fun, and I felt like that really helped my performance like aspect with
Yep.
like pole, because I was used to being, in a bikini in front of people and just being like, I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so teaching pole during the week and then go-go dancing on the weekends. That was my source of income for many years.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long were so you did that for a couple of years, and I think I heard at one point you were teaching like upwards of 16 classes a week. Yeah. So how did you kind of balance like taking care of your body during that time?
Well, I kind of didn't.
Right. Yeah.
In a night, I was teaching 3 to 4 classes and doing, the super, like, sorry if this offends anybody, like eye roll bachelorette parties.
Okay, yeah,
where.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that, and I really, honestly, dude, like, I wasn't taking care of myself too much. I just lived, ate, and slept and breathed just dance all the time. And that, I felt my body kind of starting to shut down. And like I felt in a way like my spirit was kind of, because I was working crazy long hours, mostly at nighttime, and then I would sleep till noon and then just get up and eat Taco Bell because it was cheap.
Yeah, right.
Get up and do it all over again. And then there was just like a time where I'm like, is this really what I want to be doing forever? Like, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I still love it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I know my body's going to give out at some point. And I just felt like my lights start to dull a little bit. So I'm like, okay, I need to reevaluate some things and maybe get like a muggle job.
Okay.
So I can do this as more of like a passion and for fun instead of, okay, I have to teach X amount of classes so I can make rent this month.
Right. And at what point were you like, this is it, I'm making the change?
I think it was when I really started like seriously dating my current my current husband.
Your husband. The next one's like last one's over there.
No, my husband, because he was working, regular 9 to 5 job, and then I was working the 5 till 2 o'clock in the morning job.
Right.
And so we never really had that like time for us and time together.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want it to be like that anymore.
Right. I'm sure that was a tough decision.
It was.
Like I know how much I love pole, and it's clear how much you love pole, and like reaching that point, it takes a lot of awareness, I think, to be able to see like, this isn't right for me.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we just stay in things because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I think that's really admirable of you to recognize that, because I'm sure that's impacted your health in so many ways, and in a good way.
Yeah.
So what did you do? Like, I can't do this full time. What happens then?
After I had that kind of like come to Jesus moment, I was like, I want something that's going to pay the bills, but I'm also able to just kind of, when I leave work, I can just leave all my crap there, and I didn't want to go back to hairstyling because that hustle is legit real.
Yeah.
And like, I love the creative aspect of it, but I mean, it's Austin, so you can throw a rock and hit 25 hairstylists,
Right. Yeah.
So I jumped on Craigslist and I'm like, let me just find something where I can sit behind the desk and make my money and just get out so I can still go enjoy pole.
Right.
So then I found a listing for a front desk at a dental office.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was like, sure, let's give this a shot.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and for my interview, I immediately saw one of my girlfriends that was working there. And I'm like, dude, I didn't know that you worked here. I'm here for an interview. Yeah, so that already gave me a good feeling. I'm like, okay, if she works here, then I know it's not like some crap hole.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I found out my manager and my boss, they're both from San Antonio, which is where I'm from, so we had that connection. And dude, I really feel like me going into that office like it was fate. It's everybody there is so dope. They all know that I pole dance. They all support it. My bosses follow me on Instagram, so it's like, get ready to see a whole lot of my butt.
That's awesome. That's so great, though.
Yeah, so it's just such, I mean, I know people are like, oh, my work family and stuff, but they're like legit the coolest people ever.
Yeah.
So I've been there for 5 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I imagine that you make people feel really happy when they come into the dentist office, which is not an easy thing to do. So I'm sure you're a great employee there.
Oh, well, thank you.
Seriously. And I heard it a little bit talked, and I'll link to the show notes in this, your interview with Pole Parlor.
Yeah.
And you mentioned how this impacted your teaching. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, totally. So when I was teaching pole and go-go dancing full time, it started to feel more like a job. You know, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go teach. I'm tired. I don't know what my curriculum's going to be. Let's just do it and get it done. But now having that, like, I guess just like financial stability with my muggle job.
Yeah.
I'm able to put more like creativity and passion and not worrying about like just cranking out classes just to like get it done. You know what I mean? And like I'll just be sitting at my desk and we listen to music all day and I'll be like, this is a great pole song. Let me just whip my hair real quick and give me a 5, 6, 7, 8. And it makes pole fun again.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
I can see, like, I heard in the interview you talked about like how sometimes after that 16th class you might not have as much left in you.
Yeah.
And so I imagine when I was teaching a couple of times a week, it can be really draining. I can't imagine teaching 16, but like even a couple in a week was draining. Then when I went down to teaching like 1 day a week, the amount of effort that I was able to put in and like the gratitude that I had for going into the space was so much bigger than it was when I was teaching so many classes. So I think that's a huge benefit. And so you're still currently in the dentist office and you love that.
I am,
Yes.
yeah. And you know, dealing with, because I understand the dentist isn't everybody's favorite place to be. So dealing with kind of just like not happy people during the day, I'm able to come here and be like, you are my people.
Yes,
I can say butthole and fart and you'll laugh.
Yes.
Because I feel like it takes a certain type of weirdo to pole dance.
Oh, definitely.
And it's just kind of like weirdos unite.
It's funny. I think like the apparatus is like the entry into the gang. Honestly, like it attracts the certain kind of person, and it's really the apparatus that brings you. But then you stay for the people too. Like that's true. So I'm guessing that this has kind of offered a little bit of balance into your life. Now, how much are you teaching now?
Right now, I'm only teaching 4 classes a week.
And we're in COVID, so it's weird.
That whole thing. It is weird.
Okay.
Yeah, when we were shut down, I was doing like Zoom classes.
Okay.
But, you know, that's not the same.
No, and it's difficult.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's hard. But right now, I'm doing 4 classes a week. I'm doing 2 on Tuesdays, 2 on Fridays, and then whatever kind of privates or whatever during the weekend.
Awesome.
But that's like the perfect amount for me. I think it's just really finding out what's going to work with your lifestyle, because teaching pole is not only physically draining, it's emotionally draining, you know, because you have to be on the whole time. Yeah. You know, you can't have a crappy day and come in here and just be a total like douchewad.
Right.
You know?
Right. It affects everyone if you are.
Everybody,
Yep. I completely agree. Talking about your classes, they look so much fun and the reviews sound so much fun. So you teach Hell on Heels. What else?
I do, yeah. So I teach my Hell on Heels, which is choreography class.
Yes.
And that's really like no tricks or anything involved. It's just dance and fun. And then I teach on Tuesdays, I teach an advanced class. Okay. And then, those are the only 2 months. And then I do like an open pole, which, you know, just making sure people don't fall and die. Yeah. And safe. Just offering some comedic value to the class.
I love it. That's fantastic. How did you make Hell on Heels? And why? Actually?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, fart.
Yeah.
So when I first started dancing, I was terrified of heels.
Okay.
I was afraid I was going to have like a Bambi baby deer moment,
Yeah.
which we all go through, which happens.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah, right. Still happens to me. Yeah.
But watching a lot of just not even advanced choreography, but I love any kind of performance from Miss Pole Dance America, or not Miss Pole Dance America, but I meant Miss Pole Dance Australia and like the Russian like style. I'm like, oh, I was just super drawn to that. And I felt like kind of in Austin, there was a lack of choreography class like that. And I feel, I mean, like, not to toot my horn or anything like that, not to sound like a weirdo, but like, I feel like I have a choreography brain.
Yeah, definitely.
And musicality just comes like naturally in a way. Yep. And that's just something that I wanted to share to everybody. And I tried it out and people really liked it. So I'm like, all right, dude, we're gonna go balls to the wall. Let's make this like a thing. And that is a popular class.
Yes.
Here.
I
feel
hear
very fortunate.
Yeah. How do you keep it fun? How do you keep it going? I hear it is a very popular class.
I think people just want to dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just not worry about so much about, oh, I can't fonzie or do anything like that. And people just want to dance and have fun. And I tell all the students, like, dude, I don't care if you hit this beat, just whip your hair around and shake your butt and click your heels. Yeah. And that's all I really care about, because dance is supposed to be fun. You know, and not like, if you don't hit this on 8, I swear to God.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, I say a bunch of stupid crap in class, and I feel like what people like is just that sense of like, oh, dude, you're like a real person.
Yeah,
and say
definitely.
Stupid stuff, and like, I want my class to be more of like release.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just go and have a good time and laugh. And if I get a sweat on, great.
Yeah. I think the reviews on the classes are absolutely great. And Crimson was like, you have to go to her class on Friday night. So much fun.
Crimson's the best.
She is. She really is. How do you create a safe environment for your students? Just being kind of relatable, same kind of thing?
Yeah, same kind of thing. Like, I just don't want it to be that, like, I'm the teacher and you're the student. You have to listen to what I say.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if you don't feel like doing something, that's fine. Like, I'm not here to make you do shit, you know? Like, there's those students that, you know, want to compete or perform and that are here to, you know, tell me when I have a micro bend, or tell me when my foot is flexed. And then there's some people that just want to come and have a good time, whether they're stuck at home all day or stuck like in the office, and they just want to come here and just smile and relax. And I mean, I think I'm pretty funny.
Yeah,
but
definitely. You are. I'll agree.
Yeah, but some people don't think so, but that's fine. Sometimes things are just a swing and a miss.
Yeah, that happens. Somebody said, like, you got to be okay with being a fool. Yeah. Yep.
If you can't laugh at yourself, like, then what the heck?
Absolutely. And we're currently in the middle of, besides the pandemic, in the movement with Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. How have you addressed this in your classes?
You know, it's a crazy time.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy. I've been trying to do as much and listen as much and learn as much as I possibly can. We were talking about Hell on Heels, like this past month, we did a routine to a Cardi B song. Mm-hmm. And in the Cardi B song, it has the N-word. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it took me a few classes, like, honestly, like, when I dance, I'm not a lyric person. I listen to more so, like, the background in the music. But then I was like, oh, my God, this says the N-word, and that makes me feel super duper uncomfortable. I can't imagine how it's making my female Black students feel. Like, what the F am I doing? You know? So I switched it to the censored version, and people were appreciative of it, and I just feel like such, like, a loser for not doing that sooner. But I guess that's like my privilege
Yeah.
talking, you know, like, and then I held a Zoom workshop, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, and it was all donation based, and all the proceeds went to NAACP.
Great.
So I'm looking to do more of that kind of stuff, just with donations and sending it to different type of organizations and whatnot. And I just really want to know, like, for my students that come in here, like, this is safe.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything here, no matter the color of your skin, your gender, what you identify as, like, we're gonna love you no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to be more woke, as the kids say.
Aware. Yeah, just
Yeah.
aware. And I think for the most part, I think that's what the goal is to become more aware and to do these things. So I appreciate you like feeling that uncomfortableness and doing something about it.
Yeah.
It's easier just to be like, oh, I'm just going to change the song, you know, completely. But to stay true, but to make the adjustment, I think is great.
Yeah, and I try to do my best with like stuff like that, and even like, I won't play Chris Brown because I think he's a bad person.
Right, yeah.
So I won't play that kind of stuff, or really anything that's very derogatory towards women. So I know that's not really related to Black Lives Matter.
But it's a great lens to the greater issue,
Yeah.
you know, of inclusivity and equal rights. And
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that. Now I kind of want to switch gears a little bit and talk about competing, because you've done some major competing.
In my glory days.
Like, some serious competing. Can you tell me about when did you first start competing and what drew you into competing?
Sure. So my first competition was about the time that I started. It was right before I started teaching. It was in 2011.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. It was, at the time, a small competition. Rest in peace, Miss Texas Polestar.
Oh.
Just so many great people.
That show is awesome.
Amazing. And when it first started, it was in this club in Dallas called the Lizard Lounge, which had one 50-millimeter pole that was like 24 something feet high.
What?
So just ridiculous. And it was just like looking at pole competitions then to where they are now. It's just like two totally different worlds.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it still had like crazy judges like Natasha Wayne and Alethea Austin, and just like so many big people. I feel like Miss Texas Polestar was just really kind of like a staple of like competition. Like, it was just so dope. But other than that, like, there weren't very many opportunities to perform.
Okay.
And that's really what I wanted to do.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense with the way you do perform, because it's so engaging. It is. And so it feels like a performance instead of a competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of how I looked at it.
Yeah.
As. Like, I was never like
Smart.
Tanya Harding, like, I'm going to bash you in the back of the knees to win.
Right.
Like, I just wanted to perform, and dude, like, I'm so damn hard on myself.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like that's what it is with a lot of pole competitors.
Yeah.
Like, we're our own worst enemies. It's not like, I'm going to take this bitch out. You know what I'm saying? But I really just wanted a chance to be on stage and perform and just to do what I love. I don't look to win. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But luckily, like, and
You did.
but luckily, like, my nervous tick is a perma cheese.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's a great nervous tick to
Thanks,
have.
man.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that
man.
is.
Yeah, like my cheeks are all tired, like by the end. But yeah, dude, I got into the competition world just because I wanted to perform, because it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's also like, you know, right before you go on stage, you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why do I do this?
Oh no, that high is like the greatest thing ever. Like,
And it's like you pee 47 times in 5 minutes. You might fart a lot.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
You might have to poop.
yeah.
But then it's like when you're out there, I don't remember my first competition at all.
Yeah.
Like, I just blacked out. But then I remember afterwards being like, all right, let's do it again.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. Let's
Yep.
party.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that high just kind of like sticks with you.
Yep.
You know, and you're like, all right, I'm ready for the next one. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah. And so 2011, did you win that year?
I did.
You did win that year.
Yes.
That's amazing. So that's like not even a year into your pole journey. Badass. And you also competed 2 other years in that competition?
I did. I pretty much competed every year.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, this is still prior. I came in 2013.
Okay.
And I think that's about when pole started to pick up a little bit more steam. Definitely by 2015, I think it was starting to become more mainstream.
Oh, for sure.
But like there were a couple of studios in my area in 2013. So like I assume that there weren't a lot of opportunities, especially in the South, to perform. So
Totes.
2011, 2012, 2013, you're competing. Is this at the same time when you're teaching a ton? Yeah.
Yeah, this was the same time I was doing just like teaching full time, competing in as many competitions as I could.
Okay.
Just training like a maniac and
Right.
just always wanting to be better or do the next thing or be more flexible or, you know, whatever it could be.
And what did training look like for you?
It was a lot of sitting down and looking on my phone.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds like mine.
Yeah. But, you know, like training and prepping for whether it's a competition or a performance, I feel like you just really have to have a song that you connect with, you know, and not a song where you're like, oh, I think the judges will really like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of just sitting and listening to music and dancing and just being like, nope, this doesn't work. And then, or, you know, it was 2013, 14 question mark. I won Miss Pole Dance Oklahoma.
Yes.
And
That was PCS, right?
that was for PCS.
That was for PCS, right.
I
Okay.
think it must have been 2014.
Yep.
I feel like that specific competition changed the game for me.
Really?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I went out and I was like, dude, I don't care what people think. Like, I'm just going to go out there and twerk and have fun and not really worry about, like, what tricks I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be for me. And, I mean, knock on wood, like, or, like, luckily, I won against some super hard, everybody was a hard-hitting competitor. Even though it was in Oklahoma, most of the competitors were from Texas.
Right.
In, like, the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
And I really felt like that was the competition. I was like, you know what? Like, go out there and do what makes you happy. Don't worry about, you know, trying to be like this beautiful ballerina because you're trying to be, you know, PC or not PC, but just kind of like mold to what you think like the judges want, you know?
Yeah.
And because, I don't know, I feel like dance is just such like a great outlet for like your personality and like your feelings and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I guess my personality is ass shaking. And I'm okay with that.
Yes. I like it. I like your personality.
Oh, thanks, girl.
Yes. And so you went on to compete in the Arnolds, and that performance was so awesome. It was interesting. Like, I feel like they must have live streamed that year because I remember watching it. I think I was at work at the time. It's funny. I was working in a doctor's office that time.
Were you really?
Yeah. And I think I was at work watching it live stream. And I remember like seeing you. And it was like this different side of you that I hadn't seen yet, where it was more lyrical, and then it switched.
Yeah.
And it was so badass. It was so cool. And you were still like smiling and doing everything. How do you keep like your energy up through performances?
Caffeine.
Gotcha. Yep.
Like I said, like my nervous tick is like smiling, but I feel like I don't have like a good answer for that question. It's just you just have to go out there and just put every ounce of energy that you have and into your performance. And one of my things, because I've judged a couple competitions, one of my things is I hate when I go out there and see a performer just like look down or like look at the floor. Like even if you're not looking at somebody, dude, just like stare into the light. You know what I'm saying? There is it was from USPDF. It was Alethea Austin. she did this dope emotional routine, which I rewatched the other day and totally like cried my eyes out during it. But in the beginning, like she's just walking, like she's walking down the aisle, and she just stops and like her just stare out into the audience. Like it's the most impactful thing ever. And even just like little moments like that, I feel can really just take your performance to like the next level.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, I kind of go into
No,
left
I've got
field.
like chills.
No.
No, that was so good. So for me, the first time that I performed, I think I looked out. I don't remember really. I blacked out as well.
Yep.
But like, I think I may have looked out once or twice. And then each time I've gotten to interact a little bit more with the audience. Do you have any tips for somebody that's just like afraid to look up?
It's an uncomfortable thing.
Ah, there you go.
It's very uncomfortable. It's very awkward. It's very just, being under those lights, it's hot AF.
Yep.
It's honestly, I feel like a mind over matter thing at that point. Once you strap on those heels, you have to be like this. You can really be whatever character you want to, but it's just that confidence that I feel that you just kind of have to push through the uncomfortableness to like have, if that makes any kind of sense at all.
Totally makes sense. Fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's tough.
It is.
It's
It is
really tough.
I think like after my first performance, like you, I was like, oh, I want to do this again. That was so much fun. That felt so good. And then like realizing that going into it, I would feel uncomfortable, that I would have those same, like, I'm going to fly off the pole or whatever fears, and knowing that made it less scary the next time. And like each time it's a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more comfortable.
You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Type of thing.
It's hard.
It is hard. And you have to worry about my hands are sweaty, my ankles are shaky, and I'm trying to look fierce while doing this. Like, oh my God, what are we doing here?
So basically we all feel uncomfortable doing it. You just do it anyways.
Yeah, and the people that don't feel uncomfortable, like you're either lying or I envy you.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're awesome, and that's awesome.
I feel uncomfortable every time. Even when we have like a small like studio like student showcase, I get just as nervous as what I would, because PCS, by the way, was at the Arnold convention, and pole dancing was one of the like, kind of smaller things. It wasn't bodybuilding or anything like that. And so it was held in the gigantic, like 5,000 seat, like arena that like Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No, I didn't. I know. I know.
I have to leave.
I know. Yeah.
But there's a character in it called the Mountain. Okay. And he's what you would imagine. Okay. He's gigantic and buff, and he wins like World's Strongest Man and like stuff like that. And he was on that stage like the night before. Oh. So I was like, oh, no pressure. And it's, people watching that don't have any kind of really sense of pole dancing, so that was already intimidating going into. So it's like, well, let's see what happens. Yeah. And that was probably the most terrified I've been in my whole entire life.
Really?
Yes.
I would have never guessed that.
I would rather jump out of an airplane.
Well, it did not come across that way.
No,
it was
nice
a really, really great performance. And then that same year is Miss Pole Dance America. How does this even happen?
And they were a month apart.
What? Wait.
Yeah. I believe PCS was in February, and I think Miss Pole Dance America was either in March or April, but it was about 4 to 6 weeks apart. So I was working on 2 routines. Two very different routines at the same time. But, that was actually kind of nice training, because I'm like, who do I feel like being today?
Right.
Do I feel more like dramatic, which I totally regret doing that, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. just I wanted to push myself like as an artist.
Yeah.
And try something different, and I wish I didn't. But it wasn't the fact like winning or losing. I just wanted to be like true to myself.
Yeah.
And also like the floors there, they were more of like the, like puzzle piece mat type of things.
Oh, yeah,
it was
yeah.
that, and those are just not heel friendly.
No, not at
forget
all.
about it. But Miss Pole Dance America was literally, dude, the coolest thing I've ever done. Like
Yeah.
the whole time I was there, me and probably like 7 girlfriends went up there and rented a house in Nashville and just made like this whole weekend of it. And it was just so much fun. And the whole time I was just like, is this like David
Yeah.
after Dennis? Like,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this real life?
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And being there with like freaking Sarah Jade
Yeah.
and Bryn Root
Yeah.
and all the, I'm
There
getting
were so many.
excited.
There were
There was
Melissa
so-
Schrader, Rochelle Rivera.
Pink Puma.
Yeah, Pink Puma.
Like-
that was.
I'm like, I don't need to be in the same room as all these people.
Oh my God, you
because
totally belong.
they're amazing.
Yeah, they are.
And just like the amount of love and passion
Mm-hmm.
like Alethea put into it, and like the lights, and she was just like, do whatever you want. Like you could do this. There were 3 poles, by the way, which
Yes.
was like a new experience.
Yeah.
And she just let you just go with it. And it was, dude, the coolest thing ever. I remember going to White Castle afterwards.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and with my girlfriends, and there were people there that were like, you just competed in Miss Pole Dance America.
wow.
And I'm like, you were there? You saw? Like, it was just so dope, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally the coolest.
I'm going to agree with you. Not having known any of your other life accomplishments, that is the coolest thing ever.
It's the coolest.
I mean, that performance, I know I gushed a little bit before, but like that performance was so good. No, like so good. If you haven't seen it, you need to stop this episode right now. Go check out the show notes, look it up on YouTube. It's so good. You're like Belle, right? From Disney? Is that what
I was just trying to be like a Disney, like princess,
Okay,
not like a
okay.
specific
Not one,
but yes,
but yes.
I was wearing a bell dress.
Yes, a yellow
Yes.
dress.
Yes.
And yes, okay. And it was this like Southern girl, very proper, and then all of a sudden it switched. And it was just like the greatest thing ever. I remember like watching it in person and just being like, I cannot take my eyes off this. Like, I just want to watch it again and again and again. And like, when I talk about that competition, that's one of the performances that always
Shut
stands
your
out.
pretty mouth.
I am so serious though. It's literally like in my top 10 all time favorite
dude.
routines ever. Like,
Thank you.
it not only like the message, the song choice. So
Yeah.
you did Beyonce, but you did this version where she had somebody with spoken word
Yes.
speaking over, and like the message that came from that and the way that you engaged with the crowd, like I'm getting emotional.
Dude,
right now.
I'm like wanting to cry.
The tears are welling up in my eyes. Like it was so good. And it's a testament to that show as well, that show gave people like you a place to showcase those kinds of performances.
Dude,
It was so good.
I
so good.
cannot. Thank you.
I have 2 favorite parts. The Black Widow with the wavy leg. That was the first time I'd ever seen that done. And I
you.
still do that today. And then when you took the wig off.
Thanks.
Like, you took your wig off, you whipped it around.
Yep.
And then you also pointed out your booty.
Well, yeah.
I just love that. I just love it so much.
Thank you. Yeah, it was in my, I don't know if you could see it on stage, but in my belle or my princess dress, I had someone sew like flesh colored like half sleeves
No.
on, so you couldn't see any of my tattoos.
That's so smart.
Yeah, and had like my wig on,
Yep.
and I wanted just like you said, like the spoken word part. It's talking about feminism and just all this amazing stuff. And when I took the dress on, and the tattoos, and then the hair,
Yeah.
and it was the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah.
It was just such a blast. And honestly, when the song changed to Beyonce, the like bitch of the crowd just made me want to cry standing up there.
I can feel it.
It was just, the energy was just beyond. And it was, dude, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. That's one performance. I mean, of course, I watch it back, you know, not like every night like a weirdo.
I do. I'm a weirdo.
But, you know, I start to get nitpicky, like, oh, I should have done this, or I should have done
wow.
this, which is stupid.
Yeah, I do the same thing, but don't do that because it was perfect.
Thank you.
Seriously.
But yeah, I would do it all over again. And it was just.
How did you come up with the concept for that? And your other performances, it's the song?
It's a song. I try, especially with that one, I tried to pull like two pieces of like my personality. I love Disney, and I love cute things, and I love girly things, and I love being like saying y'all and being from the South and my sweet tea and all this kind of stuff. But then having that like kind of feminist, badass, like ass shaking, like edge, just I felt was just like the perfect cluster F of what's inside my head.
Yeah. I like it. I'm here for it.
I appreciate that.
Yep, totally. And so is that kind of how you try to look at performances or competitions, is like, how can I bring myself into this?
Yeah, I try to add like what, you know, at certain times in my life, you know, you go through like an angry spell, or I'm feeling this way, or whatever. The the one thing that I do not do, and try to push all of my students away from doing this, is the no shade. I'm in my boyfriend's white button-up shirt, and I start off sad, and then I end up like taking it off.
Yep.
You know, just kind of very like
Yeah.
type of
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
I feel like when people watch pole, you want to be entertained.
Yep.
You know, and some people are phenomenal dancers doing very like lyrical ballet type of stuff. That's just not me.
Right.
And I'm not going to try to like force myself to be this like squatty sausage of a 5'3" person being like this beautiful ballet dancer. Like, no, that's not going to happen. And it takes a while to find like your style and find your strength and find what works for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
how did you find yours?
Trial and error.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I think that's probably for a lot of people, you know, just trying to do things and not feeling good. And like, oh, not
but
for
dude,
me.
like experiment, like whatever. Like it's just pole dance. It's not like you're not trying to solve like the cure for cancer or something. So if you want to, you know, try out different things, dude, then do it. Push your boundaries. Like, who cares? Like, have fun, you know, dude?
Absolutely.
Sorry, I say dude like all the time. And then, you know, I saw like a thing the other day how like you shouldn't refer to people as like dudes and guys and stuff. And I'm like, that's just
it's hard. It's so hard. I also I've been trying not to say guys as much. I do guys a lot, and it's not gender neutral. The definition of the word is not gender neutral.
I get it.
And I honestly don't know what's right and what's wrong, you know, and I'm sure it depends on who you're talking to as well. Like, I'm a dude. Like, I'm cool being a dude. Yeah. So feel free to say dude as much as you want to me. I'm good with that. Yeah.
Me and my best friend, her name is Erin Jane. She's a pole dancer.
Okay.
If you don't follow her on Instagram, her name is Erin Jane 54 on there.
Okay.
And she is the best person alive. But we say dude to each other like all the time. And you know, it's kind of dude and bitch are kind of like
yeah, it's really interesting. I saw something about like, is bitch gender neutral? I feel like maybe it is. Yeah. Maybe, you know, who knows anymore?
Who knows anymore?
I'm gonna keep listening and learning, but call me dude all day. I'm a dude. Definitely a dude. So want to switch gears a little bit and talk about working with Cleo. So what do you do with Cleo?
Stalk her life. I'm so fortunate enough to work for Cleo, and I go out there maybe twice a year or so and film tutorials for her Cleo's Rock and Pull website, and just do badass things for her.
Yeah,
and that's really it.
That's awesome. How did that even come about?
Well, I was obsessed with Cleo. Like I told you, I've always loved Miss Pole Dance Australia. The performances, the opening numbers, just the amount of production that goes into it. It's just like none other, really.
Rest in peace, Bobby.
Oh,
seriously.
rest in peace. How sad is that?
Seriously.
Yeah, she was a real pioneer.
I think that day I went into a deep YouTube hole and just watched all the opening numbers for Miss Pole Dance America or Australia. Yeah. So good. Sorry.
So amazing.
Go ahead.
Rest in peace, Bobby.
So you're obsessed with Cleo the Hurricane.
Obsessed.
Yes.
I would watch her Miss Pole Dance Australia videos religiously. And then I saw she was going on tour. So naturally, I signed up for every workshop. Saw where she was going, would always comment on her stuff. And she would always have some kind of online twerk competition type of things. I would always do as much as I could to really hey, look at me, let me get your attention, hi. And her and I just clicked.
Yeah.
We did. I just love her style, and she was like, oh shit, you can dance the Australian way. Hell yeah, I like you. And we became I feel honored to say Cleo the Hurricane's my friend.
That's a cool thing to say.
Legit friend. And she's just built this such badass empire, whether it's her online studio or her clothing or her studio. And what I admire about her is that when she has her eyes set on something, she will do whatever it takes to make it possible. And if it doesn't work, fine, on to the next thing. And she's literally the most hardworking, most humble, cool person ever. And not only is she doing all this awesome pole stuff, she's a wife and has a kid and is doing all of this stuff. People don't realize how much she does by herself. She's doing all of it. Her garage is filled with her merch. You just have to admire it.
Oh yeah.
So I stalked her quite a bit.
Yep.
And was like, don't you want to hire me? Don't you want to be my friend?
Yeah.
And
eventually you wore her down.
I wore her down and just weaseled my way in there.
Yeah. That's awesome. But how long have you been working with her now?
It's been about 5 years. Yeah. So it's been a little while, and I'm so glad that she's kept me around for that long. But yeah, dude, and just going out there a couple times a year, and the good thing about going and filming there is that she just really lets you do what is your style.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's really cool. And it's she's never oh, that's not advanced enough. That's not cool. That's not this.
So
that's
are
not
you
that.
bringing your own moves?
You do, yeah. I bring my own moves. Typically when, especially an out-of-state person goes there, we shoot between 12 and 16 tutorials. Okay. And she just kind of slowly releases them over time. So it's fun, but it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of work. And just trying to come up, since her library, there's thousands of videos. And just trying to bring something that's Tiffany Rose did that one. Can you come up with something else? It's a lot. But so I really try to bring what I like in my own personal style into there, because I think that's what's great about all of her instructors is that they bring their own little special things.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is cool.
5 years. It's crazy.
I know. And it went from shooting in her studio apartment in downtown LA.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Seeing her progression.
Yeah.
I remember when she came over to the States and the website started. Like I had her videos and stuff, the DVDs, but then the website started.
Yeah.
And that was so cool. And I can't even imagine like being there for that, seeing that change in the empire just grow and grow.
Diarrhea, dude.
Seriously.
The first time going there and being like, oh shit, I'm working with Cleo the Hurricane. Like, what? And it was just one pole in her studio apartment that her and her husband and dog lived in downtown LA, and just doing that. And then she moved it to her house in California, and then now in her studio. Like, it's just so cool seeing her progression and just like evolving into things, but she still does everything like herself.
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
Yeah. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
It is.
And like, you can really, even though, I feel like being around Cleo, I have to be like, yes, ma'am, whatever you say, my queen, let me bow in that honor. She really encourages people just bringing not just every instructor and every student and whatever, just bringing their own type of personality and flair and whatnot. And all of the people that follow Cleo's Rock and Pole are so cool and so dedicated.
They are.
So welcoming, and I feel like we have our own little like Cleo gang.
Yeah.
I will live and die by Cleo.
Yeah.
I have a Cleo the Hurricane tattoo.
Do you?
Yeah, it's that little lightning bolt.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, her, me, Amy Henderson all got lightning bolts. Wendy Lee was there, but she's not a tattoo chick.
Yeah.
So she was just there in splits and moral support.
She got it in spirit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So she also got the tattoo. You just can't see it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like it. That's awesome. So we've kind of reached the end of the business stuff. So now I just want to talk to you about fun stuff.
I like fun.
Good. So what's the deal with Disney?
It's just my shit.
It's just your shit? Do you grow up on it? Love it? Yeah?
I did. Looking back on it now that I'm an adult, a lot of the early Disney stuff was kind of...
Yeah, no, I know. Looking back at it, you're like, whoa, what's going on here? This is inappropriate.
But this might sound kind of stupid, but Disney really taught me to be like a kind person.
No, I totally see that. Yeah.
And kind of like a badass in a way, like Mulan.
Yeah, definitely.
I've always just loved Disney, and my family, I feel fortunate enough that our family vacation was always Disney World, and that just holds I got engaged there, and it's just always like a special place for me. And I feel like Disney makes everybody a kid. You know what I mean? And I kind of disagree with a lot of the stuff now with like Sleeping Beauty and all that kind of stuff.
Creep stuff.
Yeah, creep stuff, for sure, creep stuff. But I feel like, I don't know, it just holds such a special place to me. And my husband's best friend is an animator for Disney.
No way.
Totally way.
That's
and I'm
so
like,
cool.
You need to have a tattoo princess. You need to start including more people. So he's just bombarded by my unsolicited advice.
I like it. Keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
One day.
I'm like, you can put me as a voice in the movie. I can't sing for shit, so I can be like the off-key, like seagull type of person.
Seagull type of person. One day I'm gonna watch one of the animated movies, and there's gonna be a seagull. I'm gonna be like, that's Lindsey.
That just like kicks open the door and heels, and it's like, hello.
With a tattoo of a lightning bolt on its leg.
That would be the dream, dude.
That's awesome. And what do you do with whatever spare time might exist, which doesn't, I'm sure.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
I like to watch Bravo.
Yep.
And
Are you a Real Housewives fan?
I am, but only certain cities.
Right, okay.
I don't fuck with Dallas.
Okay, I haven't seen Dallas.
That can hit the road.
Yep.
I do Beverly Hills.
Yep.
I do New York.
Okay.
I'm on and off with Atlanta.
Yeah.
And OC, meh.
Yeah,
But my real shit is Vanderpump Rules.
Okay, yeah, I know. That's like my guilty pleasure right now.
Really?
I'm watching it, so when I do like mindless graphic work,
Sure.
I'll put it on in the background.
Yeah?
I'm only into like season 3.5 or something.
Okay.
Maybe season 4. There's shit going down. There's
Okay.
lots of shit. Well,
Okay.
I mean, there's always
Okay.
shit going
Okay.
down. Yeah.
So, okay, I'm trying to think of that. So do you hate Stassi right now?
I mean, I feel like I've always kind of hated her a little bit,
Yeah.
but no,
Okay.
not at this point. Am I gonna hate her again, or is she gonna like
Well,
rally?
with all the current stuff going
Right, she's like a
on,
terrible person.
Terrible.
Which you can kind of see. I mean, that's who
It's
she's.
not a surprise.
Right. When they said that they fired her because she was like racist, I was like, oh, well. I mean, yeah, but yeah.
I would give every cent in my bank account to roundhouse kick Jax
Yes,
in the face.
I completely agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree. One of my friends' wife is like obsessed with Vanderpump Rules. Her husband, best husband ever, had did cameo for her birthday and had Tom Schwartz and what's the other guy's name?
Sandoval? Tom Sandoval?
No. Who was Ariana's boyfriend?
Tom Sandoval.
Okay, yeah, the Toms. They
The Toms.
they sang happy birthday to her.
They did
They
not.
did. I thought that was so cool.
Amazing.
So cool.
I hate mostly everybody on there.
Yeah.
I do like Ariana.
Okay, I like Ariana
Yeah.
too. She seems like chill. She seems like real.
She can be a Debbie.
Okay.
But all of us can be
Oh,
Debbie.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
definitely. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So watching like shitty Bravo
Okay,
shows
yep.
is I just want something to like turn off my
Yep.
brain
Right
and
there
just
with ya.
be like, oh, this is dramatic. Because I
Right.
have no drama in my
Right.
life. I mean, luckily I have no drama
Right.
in my life. And then also I recently started watching on Netflix Schitt's Creek.
Oh yeah, that's like the greatest show.
It's great.
Like yeah, that's one of the best shows ever.
I love it.
I will watch that over and over
Really?
and over. Yeah, it's right now at night. I'll like fall asleep to TV every once in a while, and
Yeah.
it'll either be Schitt's Creek
Uh-huh.
or I'm Sorry. Have you seen that?
I haven't.
Oh my god. Okay, if you like that, you need to watch I'm
Okay.
Sorry. It's also on Netflix. I think there's 2 seasons. And it's with I forget her name, but it's a really funny show.
Okay.
Like seriously funny. Like she tells a kid that his parents made them a poop sandwich for lunch in like the first episode. It's pretty fantastic.
Anything like toilet humor related,
Yes.
I'm in.
Okay. You'll love this. It's hysterical. But yeah, shit's good TV. Good TV.
I'm a, like you said, like I'm a listen to TV going to sleep
Yep.
person. And the rotation is either The Office,
Yep.
but only till when Michael Scott leaves.
Okay, I get that. I get that. Yeah.
And my husband is always like, why do you like Michael Scott? He's everything you hate. But I'm like, but there's just something so like dumb lovable about
exactly.
him,
You
know?
can't not love Michael Scott.
And my husband is Dwight Schrute.
Oh, really?
Like, yes, 100%. And then I alternate between that and Parks and Rec
Yep.
because I love Leslie Knope.
Oh yeah, Leslie Knope is like my goal in life.
Right?
Seriously, like that is my spirit animal.
It's like if you could be a mix of Leslie Knope and April Ludgate.
Yes,
Like,
seriously.
that's a superior
Oh
human.
my God, such a good combination of people. So good, so good. I totally agree.
So good.
Yep.
But those are like the only few things.
Yeah.
And RuPaul's Drag Race.
Okay, of course.
Duh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, why would I not watch that?
Right, seriously. Oh, so many good shows.
I know.
I like your choice of TV. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
I do. I love TV. I
Yeah.
love Netflix. I
Yep.
love movies. I love all that kind of stuff. Anything where I can like sit and eat a bag of chips or a copious amount of like Taco Bell, I'm in.
Awesome. I love it. And now the question that I ask everybody.
Oh God, where do babies come from?
Yes. Can you tell me? I've been dying to know. What is your favorite performance that you've ever done?
Couple come to mind.
Okay.
Miss Pole Dance America.
Of course.
Duh. And then it makes me so sad because the video's not on the internet anymore because I guess of like copyright, like stupid stuff. But one of my girlfriends who I've been pulling with this whole time, she now owns a studio here called SoFly Social. Her name is Lucky, and every year she held, I don't know if it's still a thing, like the Anne-Marie Davies did like a Bringing Sexy Back. Okay, so we did.
So glad you're bringing this up.
Oh,
Anne-Marie
Anne-Marie Davies
she's amazing.
Amazing on so many levels.
So giving, so generous.
Beyond.
Yeah.
And Lucky did this, she called it Lucky's Freestyle Spectacular. And it was just a small group of people. And you would just go up there and freestyle. And you could be as crazy, raunchy. You could do anything you wanted, and we held it in the studio. And I did a freestyle too. And when I say freestyle, I thought about what I wanted to do. I like choreographed, when you're driving.
Yeah, no, I still think that's freestyle.
Yeah.
Just because the music is telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it was to Rihanna's Bitch Better Have My Money.
Yes.
And it just, like, when you just feel it, and that was one of my favorite, quote, air quotes, performances. And the internet said no. And I was about to say Venmo, but Vimeo. Is it Vimeo?
Vimeo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Took it away and said, nope, sorry.
That's a bummer.
Can't
that
dance to Rihanna.
was Bringing Sexy Back, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it was
So dope.
I think just being in that like small environment of people that I really just care about and trust, and I know they don't give a shit if like I fall flat on my face.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, the pole community's so cool, man.
It is.
Like, you really find like your peeps.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
For sure.
And not just like support you in whatever.
Yeah, there's something about it, like the feeling of being awkward in a group of people that gets it. Like, it builds this bond between you that's, it's unlike any other community
like
I've
if you
want to
go up there dressed like a chicken, that's fine.
Yeah, people will be like, do it, do it, and I have the perfect song.
Yeah. You are so right.
It's like no other community I've been a part of.
Yeah.
And my favorite performance of you is Miss Pole Dance America.
No.
It's just so good. Like,
thanks, man.
so many parts. So good.
Thank you.
I'm not going to gush because I've already done that.
But for real, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
No, thank you. That was amazing. And now your favorite performance of somebody else. Doesn't have to be all time, but.
Well.
I
mean, the Rolodex of performances in my head just, it's
you can have a
endless.
couple.
This one was actually from Miss Pole Dance America, but it was a group number.
Are you going to say it? Go ahead.
The Alice in
Wonderland?
Yes!
Oh my God. Were you at Pole Expo the year that they did like the continuation?
No!
Oh my God. That was like anybody that didn't pole dance that I was friends with, I was like, you need to see this. Like, you have to see this. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up.
It's a piece of art. Like the costumes, the choreography, it had all the hard hitters on it.
Story.
The story. There was so much going on, and props, and everything was just perfection.
Yeah.
And it was like an 8-minute long routine, but I could have watched it if it was an hour.
Oh my God.
It's the most amazing.
Jordan, Oh my God, the Cheshire Cat.
Jordan.
Like, that was so amazing. Everybody in that.
Yeah.
Tiffany, oh my God.
Tiffany, Claudia,
Oh my God.
Brandon,
Alina.
Nadia.
Right.
Like, was she in the Miss Pole dance? But she was in the continuation?
She was the caterpillar.
Yeah.
That was so dope.
Oh,
that was so dope.
It's the most amazing performance I think I've ever seen ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, if you haven't watched it,
what are you,
binge
again,
watch it.
Pause this now and look it up.
I felt like that was like, that's an iconic performance, hands down.
Definitely. Oh, so good.
So good.
Whew.
It's like an understatement.
Yeah,
like,
no.
It makes me speak like from the bottom depths like of my stomach and just guttural noises because no words can do it justice.
No, it's seriously, I cannot recommend watching it enough. Enough. What was that the same year that you competed?
No, that was the next year.
Okay.
Yeah. So super bummer I didn't get to see that in real life. I probably would have been throwing up or pooping.
I mean, when I was there the year that they did it at Pole Expo, and it was like, what am I witnessing? Like, I can't. What
perfection
is happening?
That's what you're witnessing. Just
Nadia was in 10-inch heels, like normal for her, but like, watch it.
Her movements are just so delightfully unique.
Yes.
And only she can pull them off. Like, I've tried to dance like her, and it's just...
I took one of her workshops once, and it was such a joke for me. It was great for everybody else. It was a joke for me. But yeah, she's just cool, good people.
She's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Like, I will never be that cool.
No,
like,
I know.
So cool.
I know.
And she's just like... You know, I think it's funny meeting like all these pole stars that think they're gonna be gigantic, but she's just this little tiny pocket size, like
so
tiny, but just like a powerhouse. And her tricks and her dance, and she's very like B-girl, but also sexy, like life goals.
Seriously, so good.
I can't.
Okay, I can't either. I don't even know where to go from here.
No.
But how can people connect with you?
The interwebs. I'm bad. Do people still use Facebook? Like, is that really still a thing, or is that more like a family?
It's family for me.
Yeah.
But I think it is for some people. So put it out there.
Yeah. Facebook. My name is Lindsey Dement. Tadlock on there. I have my stage name and my government name.
Yep.
And then you have to.
Yep.
And then on IG, it's Lindsey Dement.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you teach here locally at Austin Pole Fitness?
ATX Pole Fitness.
ATX.
Even though we're located in Round Rock, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from Austin. And yeah, I'm here full time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being
over.
a guest.
I could do this for like
I know
2 more hours.
I know, I could too.
Yeah.
This was so awesome.
So fun.
Thank you so much for giving me your time. Let me come out here, get away from my husband, and all the information that you've shared. I really appreciate it.
No, dude, thanks for doing this. You're doing good work. It's very important, and we have such like a small, tight-knit community. Yeah. You're doing a really good job in doing your part. Thanks. So thank you for doing this and doing it for the peeps.
Oh, thank you.
And you're just a badass too. When Tara walked through the door, I'm like, this is my first time meeting you, but I like you already.
I felt the same.
Like, you're dope.
Oh, thank you. I felt the same. This was such it's like, okay, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, it's been hard being on the road. Like, I was very connected in not just my pole community, but in my like friend community that I had built for forever. I've lived in one place all my life, and it's been difficult, you know, not so much meeting people, but connecting with people. Yeah. And so this was really refreshing for me. I felt at times very isolated, which I'm sure a lot of people can can relate with right now, given everything. But so it's really, really nice to connect with somebody. So thank you so much. This is so great.
Are we going to hug and cry?
I think we should. Yeah. We have to. Which would make sense for the show. I cry on the show pretty much every episode. I used to count how many times I cried in an episode, and then that just got out of control. So, but with that, we are going to close this out, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Ariel Hour. If you enjoyed this episode or learned something new, I want to hear about it. Your words and feedback fuel this show, so here are 3 simple ways you can support the Ariel Hour. Number 1, hit subscribe so you never miss a new episode. Number 2, share a screenshot on your IG stories of your favorite takeaway from this episode, tagging at the Ariel Hour. I absolutely love seeing these posts. And number 3, write us a review. This is the ultimate way to support the show, and it will only take a couple of minutes. You can leave a review on Apple Podcast or on our Facebook page. I'll be shouting out a new reviewer each week, so make sure to drop yours in there. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I'll see you next time.
I feel like I'm a old lady polar now.